Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pod Scum. This is the podcast where we delve into the deepest, darkest, murkiest waters and get to the bottom of whatever shit we want to get to the bottom of with our wide array of legendary guests. And speaking of legends, I am your host, your bastard of ceremonies, the number one scumbag himself, Rex Ruger. That's Rex with 3 X's. Only the dirtiest and the sleaziest get the threesiest. And that is me, a.k.a. the man with the golden voice and the velvet tongue, a.k.a. the hair metal high priest, the king of sleaze, but most importantly, a.k.a. Diamond David Lee Roth Jr., and we're almost at the finish line, folks. I'm going to be able to tell my audience once and for all that the DNA is conclusive, and that I am, once and for all, the son of glam, the front man for the band. Just smoked a few grams, got a million fans, always going out with a bang. Mr. Wop Bop, Loo Bop, Wop Bang Bang, Shazam. God damn. And of course, if you want the locks that rock, make sure you spray responsibly. Let me give myself a look here before we bring a guest in here. Well, I guess I got 2 good sides, so... And as always, this is the No Frills podcast. You see me right here doing my invites, doing my half-assed version of technology. But I'm too old. I'm 49 years old. We get them in here and we dive right in. And that's it. Because I know people are busy, man. People got the attention span of a flea. We got to get the guest in here and get down to brass tacks. And I'm looking forward to this one. More importantly, he should be looking forward to it too. I got time for another look in the mirror? I don't know. Oh, as always, I'm coming to you from the den of sin. As you can see, all my memorabilia and stage clothes and what have you. But enough about me. Here comes our guest. I hope. Let's hope we see his big beaming face here. Maybe, maybe not. You know, who knows? You'll never know. I don't know. That's my Scarface there, huh?
Let's see. Now it should work. There we go.
Hey, there he is.
Fucking finally. Sorry about that. Yeah.
That's all right, man. Now, when you see hair like this, do you realize that you're looking at a legend too?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Now you can obviously tell that that you're talking to David Lee Roth Jr. Is it obvious to you?
I couldn't mistake it.
Well, I'm glad somebody said. You know, I think the DNA. I just tell my audience we're at the finish line.
Yeah.
We're finally going to meet. You know, we're finally going to. If you see him out there in your travels, just tell him you got a son in upstate New York. Help me out. So I don't want to screw up your name, man. Jadran Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's actually pronounced. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, the J is Y sound. Yeah, that's true.
So what do you usually get? Jadran?
Actually, I get a lot Jordan, even though the DNR, it's DR, not RD. Yeah. So it's just, I guess, at first glance, they see the J and the DR somewhere, you know, and the N ending. So, yeah, Jordan, I guess that's the first thing.
I don't want all the people that watch this to stop and all of a sudden go Google who Jadran Gonzalez is. So I'll say from Exmortus. I'll leave it at that right there. Then people can go Google Exmortus. That'll probably be a little easier. Now, so on your Wikipedia page, you're listed as Jadran Conan Gonzalez. Where's Conan come from?
Well, when we first started the band, which was a very long time ago, 20 years ago, I think.
Yeah, you guys seem like babies to me.
Yeah, I was 12 years old. I was 12 fucking years old when we started the band. It was me and my cousin. The former drummer of Exmortus, or at least our first drummer, who was our only drummer for the longest time.
Yeah.
But when we first started, we were going for a blackened death metal approach, right. and we all decided to wear corpse paint and have like stage names. Yeah.
Yeah, that's metal. That's paint our faces.
Yeah, that's how we started out.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
Everyone had stage names, and I don't know what to pick for myself. And I always liked Conan the Barbarian.
Sure.
And our bassist at the time, Nathan, which his name was Frost Demon. He took the best one, I think. It was the coolest one.
Yeah.
And
why's Frosty better than Conan? Why's Frosty better than Conan?
Out of Frost Demon. Frost Demon sounds cool.
So at least for the Black Demon. I thought you were saying Frosty.
No, not Frosty.
Yeah. Frost Demon does sound pretty badass, but I think over the long timeline, I think Conan stands up a lot better though.
Yeah, that's true. And
It does.
he gave me that name. He gave me that name, so I give the credit to him.
Right, because you can't give yourself a nickname in today's. That's impossible, right? You got to be dubbed something.
Which is funny because I think I gave him the Frost Demon nickname too. So
well,
it was
for yourself, but you can't do that. Exactly. You'd be breaking the code.
Yeah.
Well, so I'll tell you what. I was just out in my garage, doing what would have used to have been illegal activity, but no more. Thank God, right? I mean,
yeah. Totally.
And this Oathbreaker song is a real face melter. Job well done, sir. Great stuff. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I do want to ask because, you know, I knew you were going to be kind enough to come on and do this. So I've been going back and, reacquainting myself with a lot of the stuff. Now, the last format was in 2018, full-length album, 2019 EP, and now a single. So, with the market being so diverse and the ability to do that, where do you see you guys going? Is it going to be singles? Is it going to be EPs, full-length albums? Where do you guys want to go, and what direction?
Well, we just signed to Nuclear Blast. And,
congratulations. That's great.
Thank you. So what they want to do is do the traditional, full-length albums and obviously release singles for it. We were thinking about, before signing with them, we were thinking like if we can't get any record deals, we just go solo. DIY, not solo, DIY, and release singles every month or every 2 months, whatever. That's what a lot of new bands are doing, which I think is great for bands that are just coming up. But since we've been established and record labels they don't really like that, it seems. We're going the traditional route. So expect a full-length album coming out. I'm not sure. Maybe realistically next year, beginning of next year, or the soonest with the end of this year, because vinyl is taking forever to produce. It used to be like 4 to 6 months, I believe, and now it's 9 to 12 months. So
and I'm just a front man extraordinaire. I don't produce, man. So I don't want you to think Rex Ruger, can produce your album. I could certainly appear on it if you ever want to take the glam sleaze route, but
maybe for the next one then.
Maybe the next one. Maybe the next one.
Writing right now.
You know what? I'm so glad, man, that I'm so glad to hear that we're going to be getting a new album from you guys. Do you see and I'm starting to feel it the more and more I see these bands, that thrash music going forward is really in good hands. Hatriot, you guys, Warbringer. There's a lot of great thrash, great extreme thrash bands out there. And there's so many goddamn subgenres. I don't know what the hell to call anybody anymore. I'm a 49-year-old man, and I know there's like a million subgenres now in metal. I just think of you guys as just a freaking rock band. I would like to think that, but
right.
I would, in my old age vernacular, I guess I would call you guys thrash. That's what it sounds like to me, that you guys are a thrash band. But Havoc's another one I love. But thrash is going in a good direction, though. Are you happy about that? It's got to make you thrilled.
Oh, absolutely. And what I feel about that, since all the band names you've said, plus other awesome bands that we had the pleasure of playing with, touring with, I've noticed that a lot of thrash bands in general, like you could just identify as thrash. It's so varied.
I know.
There's a lot of I guess you can call pure thrash, or I guess old school thrash.
Yeah, let's get back to the genre thing again. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, from where it began, there's a lot of bands that stick with the roots and don't really change that, which is great, because I feel we need that. But there's also plenty of other mixing. It seems Warbringer tends to throw in some black metal elements, which is fucking great because I think it works.
Yeah.
Other bands throw in more death metal elements. We throw in a lot of classical, old school, traditional elements here and there. With harsh vocal. So I think all of us have particular sound regardless of that. So like you said, it's hard to identify. Sorry, not identify. It's hard to categorize each band.
It's too much sometimes. I know. You got some, I call you guys thrash, and some 18-year-old kid will come up and correct me and say, those guys are death metalcore. Just some term that just seems like invented out of nowhere. I get confused. It's got to be cut and dry for a guy my age.
It gets to, you can go pretty deep with they do this and that, so that's this. And I when I write riffs, when I write the music, I don't think about that. I just write it and I jam it and I I
Well,
perform
I'm glad
it
you brought
because
that up. What is the creative process for you guys like? Does somebody come in? Does somebody come in with lyrics already done? Is it a collaborative effort? Does everybody kind of shoot ideas around? Like, what happens when you guys get together and decide you're gonna put together material?
it's never the same. There's no one way we go about that. For the most part, since I'm always writing stuff, I write the majority of the music. I've always have done that. But the other guys, any lineup we've had, they everyone like throws ideas out. If it's like
Right.
minor or a big idea, like a whole song pretty much almost complete. That's happened a
Right.
lot. So when that happens, a lot of times they don't. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they lack confidence. I try to get that out of them, so I show them like maybe try this and that.
Right.
And they sometimes finish, sometimes don't. But yeah, it's a collaborative effort because the songs say I write like, and I feel they're complete. They jam it, and they might play the riff a little differently, or
Right.
maybe they might fuck up, but it sounds
Right.
better than what I had. I'm like, oh,
Right.
dude,
Right.
that's great. Let's do that instead, or whatever. So it's always like a group effort at the end. Like I don't want to go and be like, oh, this is how it's gonna go. Just
Right.
this.
Right.
'Cause,
Right. Jesus Christ, you're not James Hetfield, for God's sake.
he's great. He has great ideas. I mean, lately I'm not the biggest fan of the newer releases, but they're still going. You got to give him credit.
I just feel like that the guy that everybody calls Conan in the band has got to be the guy in charge. I mean,
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess we'll call most of the shots, but that's just because I feel like I have to. And if
Yeah.
anyone objects to any ideas I have, I always hear it out, and then a lot of the times I scratch them because sometimes, it may be not the best ideas. We had to scratch a couple of tunes on this new record because I guess it didn't really fit with the rest of the songs, or
right.
they were just not really complete and not like not real bangers. So we're like, let's just cut them out, and So yeah, in the end, it's a group effort.
I love that you're concerned about everything being bangers, man. I love that kind of dedication.
Yeah, I don't want to filler. I don't want to filler. Like we have some tracks in here in this next album that are intended to be like introductions, because they contain a lot of the material that you hear in the next song. But
right.
They're not, to me, they're not filler. They're absolutely necessary to go into the next song.
Right.
But for the sake of impatient listeners, maybe they're not used to that. So we did cut the track, so like you could totally skip it if you feel like it.
Yeah. Well, obviously you had mentioned earlier, that you guys kind of got up and running at a very young age. So was music always the ambition and the only picture? Like, was there ever like sports when you were a kid, or wanted to be like a BMX guy, or I mean, was there anything ever any other crazy kind of ideas, or was it always just music?
Well, no, actually, as a kid, I was into sports. I played baseball, basketball, and I didn't really like basketball as much. But what I really liked was football. I really wanted to pursue that for a while. I really loved playing defense. I loved, breaking through the lines and trying to sack the quarterback. That was the thrill for me. So I would have tried to, go that route if I didn't start playing guitar. So I started playing guitar because my cousin, Mario, the drummer who eventually started playing drums with Exmortus, he wanted to learn to play guitar. My dad played guitar. He just liked the jam, songs that that he liked. Which was pretty much everything I like, and he got me into everything.
That's always good.
So my dad started to show him, because he was asking, "Oh, I want to learn like these songs coming out. I'm learning these Metallica songs, shit." And I saw that my dad was giving him attention. I'm like, fuck, I feel left out.
I'm gonna get a guitar. Yeah.
So I was like, well, I want to learn too, and so we learned together, and that's how we started like jamming and getting a sense of just the groove and rocking out, and eventually he was the better drummer, and I just became the better guitarist, and we just started like that, and the rest is history.
Who were the guys that you were looking at as a young man? Who were really blowing you away back when you were a kid, as far as like like front men or guitar players?
Well, I would say, my first favorite band was Kiss, for sure. Like, I just like I like the whole package. They're great performers. But the real musicians that pushed me to get into the the technical stuff or just the rock star vibe, would be totally Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Scorpions, that whole like AC/DC, of course, Black Sabbath, like all those bands my dad had records of, and I was just blown away by the energy, by the passion. So all that good old 70s, 80s stuff.
So is there anything though that like non-heavy that people might be surprised that somebody that plays your kind of music would listen to? You know what I mean? You got like any kind of time where you just kind of slip into the bedroom and turn on like the Backstreet Boys or something fucking crazy? I mean, no?
Well, pop. For pop, I love Michael Jackson. I love even more modern would be, I guess, Lady Gaga. There's some good tunes that you could. You could transpose, or how do you say, play on guitar. It translates pretty well.
Don't worry, don't worry, buddy. We won't ruin your image on here. We'll make sure that the fans remember that you're metal. You can admit the Lady Gaga part. That's all right.
That's right. Yeah, that's good. but
music, I mean, great music is great music, though. You know, I mean,
totally. And I love classical music. Obviously, you can hear that in our originals, and of course our classical covers on pretty much every record, every release.
So when you're not making music, like what kind of stuff do you do then, man? Like, what do you do like around the house? You got hobbies? You got other shit you're into?
Yeah, I mean, I'll play video games. I've been streaming that lately with my friend Alex Lee, former Holy Grail, Bonded by Blood. He's now doing Devil Driver. But so what we've been doing is streaming guitar stuff and video game stuff, because we're a bunch of nerds. So yeah, we'll play a lot of video games.
That's all right.
That's Shred Talk. So check that out as well. Shred Talk on Instagram, Facebook.
Shred Talk.
Twitch.
Okay.
Twitch is where we stream from.
Now I got I got a couple of friends that will email me occasionally who have seen me doing this thing on the podcast, and I was waiting for the right guest to come around, and I'm getting that vibe that you are that right guest or whatever. So people are saying like, looking for different stuff to do with my guest during these conversations. So someone suggested, the good old fashioned lightning round. Put him in the hot seat. So I think you're going to be the first guy that I'm going to put, not the hot seat. We're going to put you in the furnace, okay?
Oh shit.
I'm just going to give you. All right, this is just got to be off the top of your head. These are just comparison questions. Ready?
Okay.
James Hetfield or Dave Mustaine?
Oh, Dave Mustaine. Yeah.
Dimebag or Randy Rhoads?
Randy.
Ninjas or samurais? You could be one. I guess if you could be one.
Samurai, I think.
Okay.
I think, yeah, samurai.
Maiden or Motorhead?
Maiden.
Wow. Oh, here's one. David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar?
David Lee Roth.
All right. You got that one right, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, don't lie on this one right here. This is a good one. Horror movies or rom-coms?
Horror movies, for sure.
All right. I'd like to check your pulse.
I do appreciate some rom-coms now and then. I like them. Yeah, but horror movies.
I've been guilty of one. I've been guilty of a bunch is that stupid 50 First Dates where Drew Barrymore can't remember the last time that she was out with Adam Sandler. Stupid plot though. But you sit there and watch it. I don't know.
It's something about those flicks, man.
I'm not done with you yet, there, young Jadran.
All right.
Ride the Lightning or Puppets?
Ride the Lightning for the guitar tone.
Tupac or Biggie?
Tupac.
Rocky or Rambo?
Rambo.
Are you more Cobra Kai or Miyagi-Do?
Cobra Kai has a sick vibe, dude. I'm gonna go with Cobra Kai. Do or die.
I think you might. Oh, you're Cobra Kai, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai never dies. How about Prince or Michael Jackson?
That's good. Michael Jackson, I think. Even though I love Prince's guitar playing, I just love showmanship. Okay,
out of these two Hawks, Tony or Ethan?
Tony.
Out of these two Phils, Anselmo or Demel?
Anselmo, that voice on Power Metal, dude.
All right. Okay. I put you through the grinder, man. You did pretty good, man. Don't worry about the image, man. I don't believe you about the horror. I think you're a rom-com guy. I can see it in your eyes. Sitting down, cuddling with the old ladies, curl up with a rom-com.
Yeah. I like them, yeah, of course.
I did notice.
But,
No, you did. Hey, that was the inaugural time of me doing that. You rose to the occasion, buddy. You did. I can't believe it. Dave Mustaine over the riffs of Hetfield, huh?
Yeah, I just say that because
I see it
I
though.
mean,
According to the way that you play and when you're fronting your band, I see it. I see it.
yeah, and
That's
I
a
answer that
compliment. I mean that as a compliment.
thank you. And it's
Yeah.
because I think he had more of an influence on how I perform and write more so than James Hetfield. Even though I do think James Hetfield has written maybe more catchier, more I guess maybe deeper albums and
Yeah.
song structures. But for me, I guess the technicality of
Yeah.
doing all this crazy shit and singing over it, no problem, has been like mind blowing for me and an inspiration.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at your Cobra Kai though, man. What a bully! Come on, Jadran, really? You're pushing kids around and.
hey, in my defense, Mr. Miyagi did punk all those Cobra Kai motherfuckers.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Movie.
I've seen a couple of good videos on YouTube where people really make a strong case for Daniel being the bully.
Yeah.
You know, he did ride into town and kind of swoop up dude's girlfriend. You know, I mean,
yeah,
that's kind of dirty. It's kind of dirty pool. You know, you got to know when to back off. You
exactly.
know, okay. So why is there so many goddamn past members on your Wikipedia page? I counted 13. Who's the pain in the ass in the band? You to deal with?
I'm the only one left. So
why's everybody leaving?
Probably, yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, our first lineups were when we were fucking kids. You know, we were in middle school. We started in middle school and then high school.
Hard.
So no one wants to commit. You know, the kids don't want to commit. And the only ones with the passion, or at least the shared vision, was me and my cousin Mario. So, and then I mean, we had lineup changes then too. So it's just same idea. You know, not sharing the same vision. Blah blah blah. I mean,
who makes that decision? Because I've never been in a band. Who makes that decision? Are you the guy in charge who has to let these people go, or do they get a vibe that it isn't working and they split on their own? How does that dynamic work? The political side of being in a band.
A lot of times it tends to be mutual because we'll feel each other out. We've noticed some things. We complain to each other. We let each other know. We communicate. We communicate. Yeah. So we let it out there on the table, and from there we're like, so what do you want to do? You want to work this out, or should we just part ways? That's usually how it goes. Right. Other times, they'll just storm off and just quit, or sometimes we'll just be like, you're fired. But that's very rare. It's only happened like top of my head, maybe like once, maybe twice. Yeah. But yeah. So we've had a lot of members.
I have noticed, at the risk of not sounding like a troller, but I mean, we have become acquaintances, on Facebook or whatever. I did notice in some of the pictures you're kind enough to share that you and your other half seem to be into dressing. You guys like some kind of you do a lot of costume stuff. Is that that's a hobby, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean,
you guys had some cool garb on at your wedding.
yeah, totally. On our wedding, we were like, well, would it be cool? One time we were visiting Mexico, city Guanajuato.
Yeah.
Very cultural, and there's a fucking castle there, or at least it's a hotel based off a Spanish castle.
Right.
And it's pretty much a very close model to it.
Right.
And we passed by and we were just blown away. That looks so sick. We were like, what if we got married here? And yeah, sure enough, we just let's just make it happen. Let's go have the wedding there and dress up. Fantasy stuff. Let's do it like Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Witcher-esque, all that high fantasy stuff. And yeah, I had to go as Aragorn. I got my outfit ready. She got hers. Yeah. She's supposed to be Marjorie Tyrell. And yeah, it was fun. We made everyone dress the part too. At least those that really were down for that.
Yeah.
And everyone seemed to do it. A lot of people did. A lot of
How does that dynamic work with you being a young guy in the music business, like going away from going away from family? How do you like the tour going forward? I know a lot of these bands kind of just go and do a couple of gigs and then they come home for stretches, or is it going to be you guys hitting the road and going out for months at a time?
No, for me, I mean, my wife, at the time she was my girlfriend. She understood. We got serious, and she understood the whole thing. And I was already doing a lot of tours at the time, so she got the vibe. She understood. She fully supports me. So COVID happened. So at that time, we at least got a chance to really
Yeah.
spend a lot more time with each other. So
Yeah.
we've been doing some gigs here and there, some skirmishes around the West Coast. But yeah, she gets it. She fully supports me to this day. So I always love to tour. Granted, it's bittersweet, especially now that I'm married and I have a lot of things to do at home. But I do love it. It's always been my passion, and I just want to continue to do that as much as I can, as long as it's profitable. Enough where I'm not like getting evicted from a house because I can't pay rent.
Right.
So we'll see how that is because right now we had trouble doing like a full tour without a release and during COVID. So there's been a lot of roadblocks. A lot of bumps in the road. But again, we just signed with Nuclear Blast. The release is going to come out next year. Hopefully by then things start open up more. We'll probably hitting it hard yet again next year.
Yeah.
So
now that's great news about the Nuclear Blast. Now, how does something like that come about? Do you submit stuff to them? Because again, I don't work in the entertainment industry. Do you submit stuff to them, or do they just hear stuff that you're putting out and come and approach you? How does that work when you get hooked up and get lucky to get label support?
Well, this one that's actually just communication between our manager actually and fishing us out. So our manager Marco Barbieri, he has his own label as well, M Theory. He's done great by us for a long time. I think, when did we start working with him? It's been a while. It's been like almost 10 years ago, if not 10 years ago, since he's been managing us. And I just, we have a good relationship and we understand each other. We know what we want. We know where we want to take the band. And he just, worked us there. He talked to some of the guys from Nuclear Blast and just made it happen pretty much.
Has it always been like the formula, the current lineup that you have? Do you like being the front man and playing guitar, or have you ever thought about, sliding over and having somebody else? Not that you don't do a great job at it, but did you ever want to either make a move like that or add a second guitar player and just focus on being a front man, or does the 4-man unit work best for you guys?
Well, I gotta thank you for that, because I always feel like I'm terrible.
Yeah,
I've always felt that.
No, you're not. No, you're not. And I'm not insinuating like that. Maybe you would like to just focus on the singing and let someone else play guitar, or slide over and play guitar. Like I was talking to a guy from a band the other day, from a band called Leatherwolf, and for years, Michael, their singer, he really wanted to slide over and play guitar. He didn't even really want to sing. He just kind of ended up there, as a lot of guys do, like just by de facto.
Yeah, it had to happen like that with me, because we were trying other singers. It was just not working out with the same thing. We're not sharing the same vision. He wasn't, we didn't want that, whatever he was doing, they were doing. So I felt, well, I know what I want to write lyrically and what I want for the music, so I'm just gonna have to do it. That's what I had to do.
Right.
And I fell in love with it. So for Exmortus, definitely, I do not see myself performing Exmortus any other way.
Right.
So yeah, it has just become that thing. But I am working on other projects where I'm not doing that. I'm actually focusing on guitar only. So that will be that's different, because primarily I am a guitarist. I'm not a singer vocalist. I just had to do that, de facto.
So obviously that sounds like something you must have kind of learned on the fly then. So like, what kind of stuff have you picked up along the way about taking care of your throat? And, because that's obviously an instrument in and of itself as well. Is there certain stuff that you've had to learn the hard way and find out that I did this wrong?
Yeah, not drink so much, pretty much. Alcohol really isn't very kind to your throat. So I
can see that.
I kind of pull it back here and there. Sometimes I abuse it. It happens, but
it's the road.
I try to warm up a lot. I try to watch videos and how to have proper vocal technique regardless of the style. I think.
How about sleeping? How about sleeping? Is that a lot of bullshit? You hear a lot of front men saying get a lot of rest. That's actually true.
It's true. It's very true. Yeah, a good night's sleep is always good. But since we're still touring in our van and shit, I never get my sleep. So I usually resort to, if I can't get a good night's sleep, I'll just drink some tea, throat coat, keep my neck warm as much as possible, and try not to speak as much. That helps too.
And of course
not drink as much. But
Yeah.
of course, I don't always follow that.
So you had mentioned something about side projects. Anything that you can talk about at this point, or even like a musical direction of you're going in? Will it be something similar? Still in the very in the vein of very heavy, or will this be a departure, something we wouldn't expect?
Well, I have a couple. I mean, I don't know if I could announce it though. So I'll say this much.
Okay.
One of them is a band we have toured with in the past, and it's very, very heavy, and I'm just stoked to be a part of that. And the other project, again, I can't really name.
It's all right. It's all right.
But that project is more rock and roll.
It's just when you hint to the side project and I don't ask, some asshole in the comments is going to be like, "Why don't you fucking ask him about the side project?"
Yeah. No, I get you.
But coming from you saying you've got to be tight-lipped about it, the fans will respect that.
Right.
I'm the idiot if I don't ask, though.
Right. No, that's not good. So these announcements will be coming up very shortly because I'm going to be hitting the road with the more rock and roll oriented band next month. So the announcement should be coming very soon, and I'm stoked for it because I love rock and roll. That's where I started. I was never really a real metalhead. I started just only with rock. At first, it was hard for me to get into, say, black metal. Some thrash was a little too crazy for me at first when I was a kid. It was always rock and roll, or at least proto heavy metal. And so it's going to be interesting because this is more rock and roll, and I really appreciate it. Love just grooving out to some good old rock and roll riffs and licks.
Sure.
So,
And that's why on the heels of that, I would like to, add an addendum to your announcement and you don't even know this is coming up, but me being the king of glam and sleaze metal is going to have you join my band, Love Sword, as the guitar player. Welcome aboard.
Hey, that's a great fucking name. By the name alone, I am down.
And you will have to take that. You will have to take that hair out and glam it up a little, okay?
Oh yeah, I'll tease the hair.
Yeah,
I'll
sleaze it up a little bit. Sleaze it up. There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. And then of course I got to give you. And then of course I got to give you the tryout to make sure that you can pull off the glam stuff. I mean.
Oh yeah.
You should be able to do that in your sleep, though. I mean, you should be able to do that in your sleep. That should be
we got to go through the formalities. I'm okay with that. I would like
that. So when someone comes to see Exmortus, because obviously a lot of bands, particularly young bands or who aren't, bands positioned to get huge commercial success, you do tend to feed off the live stuff and merchandise. I'm sure your band does too. If people are going to come to see Exmortus live, like what are you telling them that the experience will be?
Well, that's an interesting question. It's just what we do a lot is have fun. We just have a fucking great time. We want to recapture fucking Van Halen feel. There's only one Van Halen, and that's long gone. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
I wish I were born, in the '60s or '70s to see that.
I'll tell my dad. I'll tell my dad you said so. I will. Once we connect.
So I mean, and because of that, our live set is way different from our records. We change it up. We try to make it as interesting as possible. We'll change some of the leads. We'll change some parts. We'll add a little bit. We'll take out a bit to kind of throw you off. But it's just just for fun. It's just for fucking great time.
How do you guys feel about like cover tunes on albums? Like, will we hear like any renditions of any songs that you guys like on albums?
Yeah. Well, we haven't really done for with the labels we've been on. They've always wanted to release those as B-sides or maybe regional releases, like say Japan or Europe only exclusives. And but on this next record, we have another classical cover. So it's obvious. It's like a must-have now for us. We have to have a classical cover. So we'll have another one, but I'll give you this much: it's not Beethoven. So we're gonna do another composer. Yeah.
Oh, darn it! I was kind of hoping it would be Beethoven. I would like to see you guys trying to pull off Beethoven.
We felt okay. We did it with Prosthetic Records for 3 albums straight. Beethoven cover. So we're like, okay, let's just maybe do someone else, and we might come back to it. I love Beethoven. I love all that stuff.
What's the importance right now, though? Like when you get on like a Nuclear Blast, very long, very well-established record company that puts out, extreme metal and, is a great platform for extreme metal bands. But what does it mean nowadays, though? And, with the fact that obviously there isn't huge record contracts no more and tons of money to throw at bands. What is it that is so great about being on a label though? Like, are they able to give you any financial support and tour support and promotion and stuff? Like, is it still the advantage that it once was on any level?
I mean, I wasn't around back then, so
Right.
I don't know exactly for sure. But yeah, it seems that back then, record labels did invest more. But
Right.
that's not to say that record labels don't help anymore. I mean, I guess it just depends on the label. Nuclear Blast was a great deal with them, and I mean, for the most part, the tours are being handled by our agent. So we're with Continental right now,
Right.
and or we've been with them for a while. And yeah, it's just been it's been like that. We do our tours through them, and
Right.
with the labels, they pretty much front the recording, music video,
Yeah.
finances, and yeah, and obviously they have a great PR team, AR team, so they take care of us in other ways. They don't just throw money at us because
Right.
that through history throughout history that tends to go bad. Sabbath
Yeah.
and Van Halen, who else? Megadeth spending that shit on
Yeah.
party, which is
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I think they have to be a little more cost effective these days, right?
so I totally understand. I mean, I would try to be very responsible, but here and there I might party here and there.
Indulge a
No.
little. Yeah, sure. I mean, you know what? Yeah, it's not the touring life if you're not ripping a couple lines of cocaine off of a stripper's ass. That's what I always say. I mean, I'll go to the grave saying that. It's the road, right? I hope your old lady's not anywhere around there. I don't want to get you in no trouble.
No,
I know
that's okay.
mine's not. I hope. I got to check for
I know.
mine now.
No.
Um,
We're just joking. She's fine.
but is that the big dream? And do you have any leverage at all with going to anybody in your management team and lining up, getting onto a great bill? Like, who could you go to? You know what I mean? Like, you got to hope that a Metallica or a Megadeth or somebody like that comes and taps you to come on tour, or do you have any way of saying, hey, is there any way you could look into getting us? Because Metallica's taken out bands like, who have been in much the same stage of your career. They've taken out The Sword, and they've taken out Volbeat when Volbeat was not a really big band. I mean,
true. Yeah, and a lot of that happens just through like
luck. Is a lot of it luck?
A lot of it's luck, and just
timing.
The best thing, any band that has it's true. You just got to know the right people. But how are you ever going to know the right people if you don't get out there? You just got to keep going. You just got to be proactive. That's what we try to do, and yeah, we just keep at it, and we just make more connections. We get in touch with other people, and we just try to take those opportunities when they come up. So that's what that is, a lot of the time.
But as a young band though, if you get tapped for something like that though, I mean, it's got to be pure on stoked out though, right? I mean, you got to be just like ecstatic. I mean, I had a conversation not that long ago with AJ. He's the singer for a band called Fire from the Gods. Fantastic band, and they just got on a bill opening for Five Finger Death Punch and Megadeth. Which is like touchdown.
Oh, that's great.
It's a great bill to get on. I mean,
really
even being the opener of the opener, it's still a great 3-band bill to be on. I mean,
absolutely. Oh, absolutely, I agree. Yeah, and those are the things. Little by little, people will see that. Not just obviously the spectators, but people behind the scenes. They're there. They're watching your band. They're seeing what you got. They want to see you're good to work with as well. And that's just really what it is.
I want to see you guys out there, man. I'm going to drop a call to Lars, and I'll get this thing worked out.
Awesome. That would be great. I never met him. I would love to meet him.
Is that really one of the? Is that really like though? Like if you had like a bucket list of bands to play with though? Like all kidding aside, is Metallica like one of those bands where you'd be like, oh my god, opening for Metallica?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all the bands I've mentioned already. Metallica, Megadeth, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, everyone, all those bands, all those legacy bands. Absolutely, it would be such an honor just to do that, and it's been an honor with the bands we have toured with that wanted to take us out. We were stoked about everything. Death Angel, the last one. Before that, Obituary. Before that, Amon Amarth, Marty Friedman. Like it's just been an honor. It's been a trip. Like I never thought I would do this as a kid. Because when I started the band, I just want to have fun. Have fun with my cousin and our friends, our middle school, high school friends, and looking back on that right now, I'm like, damn, I got to do a lot of cool things. I'm pretty stoked, and I still just like to jam, so I just keep going.
So you're probably, probably goes without saying that you are still in a position though where like what you make from the band, you still have to take a day job.
Absolutely. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
right now,
yeah.
especially when COVID hit. Oh yeah,
That's the dream, right? That's the
ruined
dream
everything.
to make music the career, right? That's the dream.
Yeah, yeah. Just to live comfortably doing what I love, and I mean I still am. It's just it's a little time consuming when you have to work and then do this. Yeah. But we were approaching that before the pandemic, so we're like, oh yes, it's becoming a reality, and then
What was your
reality check.
trajectory? What was your trajectory back when you were young? Because I know that I very much have have an answer as to how like my musical arc as far as heavy metal goes. But what was your arc? Like, where did it start for you? Like, did it start with like hair metal or weaker metal, and did you start to explore like the deeper, darker recesses of music and try
Yeah,
to find what's heavier and faster and more brutal?
absolutely. I started with disco,
Yeah.
and rock and just stuff. Yeah, it's, that's where I started up. That's what my mom and dad listened to. They had like greatest hit CDs, and a lot of them were 70s and 80s
Right.
new wave
Sure.
as well.
Sure.
So yeah, I liked a lot of stuff. I still do. Um, so those are my roots, and that's why I think that's why my first favorite band was Kiss. It was
Yeah.
pretty
Right.
glam, great show, great. I still think great songwriting, even though I know a lot of people hate on Kiss and stuff. But I love Kiss. I've always loved what they put out. Obviously, not every album is great. There's a
Right.
lot of flops, I feel, but there's a lot of
Right.
gold. There's a lot of gold in there in their
Yeah.
catalog.
And you know
So
where a lot of that gold is? A lot of that gold is in Gene's pockets too. That's where
oh
he
yeah,
keeps it.
absolutely. Oh
If
yeah,
you're looking for the gold, that's where Gene keeps it in the pocket.
yeah. You're not wrong.
Yeah, I'm not wrong. No, I'm not. Well,
Yeah.
since I have you on here and we're talking about that, it's very topical now, and I guess it probably still will be by the time I get your episode up and air it. But doesn't really matter. But like, what do you feel when Gene makes that statement? Like, Kiss could go on with just four guys jumping into the costumes forever. Have you seen
Well, I
this?
mean,
Have you seen this online where
no,
Gene is
no.
saying like Kiss could go on forever and just put four young guys, you know what I mean, like in the
Keep it
makeup
going.
and stuff, and it could just be a timeless band.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because then I mean, people have been doing that. Wasn't there like a Ronnie James Dio
Yeah,
tour of a hologram? I guess
yeah.
it's something similar. But I mean, I think an actual live band is a little way cooler. So
Well,
yeah,
let me
I
ask you
believe
this:
you do.
if they did do that, would you try to be Ace?
Yeah, I would love to be Ace.
Why
Fuck
not
yeah,
take a stab at it and say you were once a part of Kiss, even if it wasn't that Kiss lineup? You know what I mean? Like,
I would be totally honored. Absolutely, yeah, totally. And much like what's happening with say like with Death, right?
yeah, yeah.
And what else is coming out that they're doing like with the Pantera,
I was going to ask your
So,
opinion on that. Where do you stand on the
yeah,
Pantera reunion? That was the next thing I had written down. Well, what's your opinion on that? Are you for it? You not like it?
I get the arguments. I get how people are upset and they might see that as like, oh, it's just a cash grab kind of thing. But you know what? Who better to do this gig than Zach Wild, right? To
I agree
take
with that. Yep.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, they were
And
bros.
Charlie. And Charlie.
Yeah, of course, Charlie. Yeah. So these guys are obviously the top picks. And I know there's all other arguments like, oh, you should have got these other guys, but they know these guys. It's
Right.
just it's the
Right.
same thing we would do. Say like us and Warbringer. Say some shit happens, God forbid. You know, we someone
Help each other out.
passes away, and someone joins the other band with Havoc
Yep.
or any other bands that we're cool with. It
Yep.
would be the same situation. So I completely understand that, and I'm not against any of it. I mean, I get the arguments. It's not Pantera without without the OG guys, Vinny and fucking and Dimebag. So
Right.
I mean, I get it, but you're still gonna want to see that show. I'm still gonna want to see that show.
Although I don't want to rehash your time in the furnace earlier, but you did pick Randy Rhoads over Dimebag, though, just to remind you.
True, I know, of course, yeah. You made me pick. I had to pick, and
Not to
and
throw
only
your
because,
answers back in your face there, buddy, but I mean,
well, yeah, because Randy was more inspirational, especially at the
yeah,
beginning. For
yeah, yeah,
Dimebag, a little later, but yeah, for sure, Randy. A lot of things. I played the Randy Rhoads shape a lot. I love that, and of course, I have a Ozzy Osbourne cover band too, called Wizards of Oz. So yeah,
nice. You do?
obviously, I'm more
That's
of a
awesome.
Randy. Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. So that is a side project then. How often do you
Yeah.
do the Ozzy band?
We're trying to do this every fucking weekend, but it's hard to do that at the moment. But yeah, we've been doing it a lot. We have a show coming up, I think September 9th and I forget where we're actually playing. I forget having to apply for but yeah, follow us at Wizards of Oz. All of them are Z's. There's no S's. Wizards of Oz.
Oh,
all
I like
Z's.
that. I like that. So, as I mentioned earlier, with a lot of people, making money off the live experience, do you yourself get to go out when you're not playing and try to see a lot of live music?
When I can, yeah.
Yeah.
When I can, if I'm not like busy working or I have to get up too early the next day, I'll go out. Absolutely.
What was the last good show? What was the last good? You remember the last good show you saw?
The last one, well, actually, yeah, it was right here, not too far from where I live. I went to a gig in Hollywood, Knuckleheads, to see our friends band, Early Moods, stoner rock band.
Good.
It was great. Oh yeah, they fucking performed extremely well. They're great live. They're great on record too. I think they have a release coming out. If not, it already did come out. I forget. I can't tell. See, when I with my friends, I already listened to the music, so I forget if it released or not.
What about are there any bands on your bucket list that you haven't seen live yet that you get that you're hoping that you will someday get the opportunity to see?
That is a great question. Fuck.
I've never seen Judas Priest, and they were the band that got me into heavy metal. But they're coming around for their 50th anniversary. They're doing a big tour, and I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. Nice. Yeah,
I've seen them. I think I've seen them a couple of times, but yeah, it's another thing too with Judas Priest. KK and Glenn, they're not, the main. They're not playing guitar. Right. I mean, I guess Glenn does come out at the end for encores. But I've
kind of been one of those kind of people that goes wherever the voice goes, though. And for me, the first thing that really hooked me was Rob Halford.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. And I'm not trying to
that's not a discredit to the other guys. They're fantastic musicians.
I'm just saying it's like a similar situation like with Pantera. So, but yeah, I haven't seen that new lineup, but I would still love to see it. But other bands, Pantera. I've never seen Pantera live. I would love to see that. I've never seen. Let's see. I've never seen the Scorpions, but I don't know.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one. Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Yeah.
And it gets tough too as these acts get older. It gets tough because your window to see them gets a lot smaller. I mean,
absolutely.
I procrastinated a lot throughout my life because I was a huge Prince fan, and now he's gone, and I'll never get to see him. I mean, I should have made the time. You live and you learn. Sucks. And then all of a sudden somebody's gone.
I missed out too. I've seen Dio live, but I haven't seen
nice.
Heaven and Hell. I have not seen Dio Sabbath, and I totally missed them. That's something I
Are you a big Sabbath? Are you a big Sabbath guy? Big Sabbath guy?
Oh yeah, I love Sabbath. I would say I'm more Ozzy, more of an Ozzy fan. I guess because I've been more inspired by the Ozzy guitarists. But I still love Iommi. I love all that shit.
What if somebody's taking Mr. Gonzalez here and dropping him onto a deserted island, and he can only bring 3 albums with him? What are you bringing? 3. That's it. Just 3, buddy.
Shit. Okay. Well, maybe. Damn. This is.
Boy, I liked it. I liked that this tortures you so much too. That's how I can tell you're a real music purist and that it really means a lot to you, because this would be something that that you're obviously struggling with.
Okay,
it's good to see.
Let's do Diary of a Madman, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, and Stained Class.
Wow. And you really did that. I mean, you really did that quickly and efficiently. A lot of people can't do that one. That's tough.
But if if I had to choose, I would choose those. Yeah.
And then after you're on the deserted island for fucking 2 months, man, you want to fucking shoot yourself, and you wish you had any other album with you, probably. But
I know, I got it down. I'm fucking tired of hearing this fucking track.
Why those albums though? Are those just the voices that that when you think of the metal that you really love? Because obviously, you got Bruce Dickinson in there, you got Rob Halford, you got Ozzy in there, whatever, man. Are those really the voices though that are just really those are your heroes right there? Your music heroes.
I would just say, I guess the lyric content for sure on those albums really stick out to me. For me, Blizzard of Oz and Diary are the same. But if I had to choose one, I would just say maybe Diary, because musically, I think the title track alone takes the cake. It's such a great song, and complex with so many layers of not how it's performed, but just how it was written. Yeah, Bob Days wrote the lyrics, and it's just so deep and just about madness, and it's just so brilliant to me. And of course, with Seventh Son, I love the concept of the whole album being tied together as a whole complete story, and it just
Yeah.
it flows. And I love the musicianship, of course. And with Staying Class, the same thing as well. There's timelessness in all those lyrics and all the songs.
Yeah, for sure.
Their whole catalog, I think. But for me, that album, I love, the heaviness of that. Especially how it starts out excited, just like speed metal, fucking.
I was very fortunate. I was very fortunate a couple of weeks ago to actually talk to Kelly Garney, and he's one of the OGs in that Quiet Riot world. I mean, he grew up with Randy Rhoads, and he was the first bass player in Quiet Riot on those first two albums. So he really grew up with Randy Rhoads. So I kind of asked him, like, when's the first time? Do you remember what age when you looked at this guy and really realized, like, wow, this guy's a musical genius? You know what I mean? But he kind of just kind of chalked it up to, he was just my friend. This is just kind of what I was used to. You know what I mean? Like, it was just Randy being Randy. You know what I mean? He was always just getting better and better and taking his craft very seriously. And, it's just commonplace to somebody like that, just
right. Because especially when you hang out with someone or you're with something constantly, you don't really see the growth as much. You have to like take a moment to reflect on that. So when you don't get a chance to, you don't really see it as such.
And he wrote a very comprehensive book. He wrote a very comprehensive book called Angels with Dirty Faces, and it's pretty much like almost like a love letter to Randy, just about their friendship and how it developed and just all those years together or whatever, and just a really sweet kind of remembrance of a friend.
Well, I need to read that.
Yeah, Angels with Dirty Faces. Angels with Dirty Faces, it's called. Yeah, and Kelly Garney wrote it, and I mean, he eventually was out after the first two albums, so I don't think he enjoyed the commercial success because he wasn't on like Metal Health. He wasn't part of Come On, Feel the Noise and Bang Your Head and all those big hit songs, because I think he butted heads a little bit with Kevin Dubrow there, the lead singer. So I think his time in Quiet Riot was very short lived, and but the friendship with Randy Rhoads endured all those years, though. And that's really what the book is really about. Just just a testament to just a good friendship.
No, that's really cool. I need to read that, and that's
yeah. Really so you really are a huge. So you really are a huge Randy Rhoads fan. So like, is he that guy for you? Where other people put like an Eddie Van Halen or this guy or that guy? He's that guy for you.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess a lot of people I've noticed, and there's been like negative comments against Randy, of course. I guess saying like with modern guitarists, like, oh, there's so many better guitarists. So people say, oh, J.D. Lee is way better than him. Or stuff like that, and I'm like, well, I guess I would say, yeah, there's a lot of things J.K. Lee did on a technical level that, yeah, he was really just fucking killing it. But for me, it's how Randy wrote the songs, how he wrote these riffs and awesome classical epic moments that how can you top that? At least in my mind, and how it translated well in that like the heavy rock medium, and it was just brilliant to me how Randy and Bob Daisley worked together, and of course Ozzy fucking howling away.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, yeah, for me he's up there. He's on the pedestal. He's
But as a musician yourself, and someone that plays guitar though, and me not playing an instrument. I mean, look at me. I'm strictly frontman material. You know what I mean? I'm out front of the stage. You know what I mean? I'm not playing second banana to nobody. But as a player yourself, though, is it possible we hear guys say he's not such a great technical player, but he plays a lot off of feel? Is that such a thing as a guitar player, where somebody could make up for their lack of technical ability, with just having just a great ear and just a good sense of rhythm and melody?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I mean, to a certain extent, because maybe you have too much feel and you're just fucking
right. You just sucking everything out.
You're not translating the idea as well. So I guess there's a balance, because even at the same time, like say you're just noodling perfectly.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It gets old quick. You gotta throw some notes that you hold on a little bit. Give it some good vibrato or something a little more melodic here and there. So that's always good. But yeah, with Randy, I think he did that a lot. He did a lot of cool technical stuff at it for his time. That was like, wow, like amazing. And I mean, hence his renown, hence his all the gigs he got. He got that, those sweet ass guitars that were that are to this day fucking iconic as hell.
Yeah.
So it's not like it didn't come from nowhere. Not it wasn't just because the Ozzy gig, but he helped. They helped each other grow. So that that's how they,
yeah, I would agree with
did
that.
it.
I would agree with that. Yeah, Ozzy solo stuff
So,
definitely got better when he got Randy in there for sure. It
oh,
went
yeah,
up exponentially, leaps and bounds.
exactly.
Now, speaking of songwriting, when you guys write lyrics, and you know, not to go too much into depth, but you know, you go online and search lyrical content for you guys, and a lot of the themes come up are like battle, war, stuff like that. Where do those ideas come from? Is somebody like a history buff, or somebody like into reading this kind of stuff, or
Just video games.
yeah, just
I
cool
love
topics, right? Just cool shit to
yeah,
talk about.
I love reading Robert E. Howard, Conan stories, of course. I love Tolkien. Tolkien's like my favorite author, of course.
Yeah, I loved them as a kid. Oh, I loved them. Oh, I love them.
And just stuff like that, playing video games. A lot of video games, obviously, or other stories or movies are inspired by all that stuff. So, it comes from that, and I feel a lot of these particular topics, written about are timeless and still pertain to today, regardless of their setting. So I like to do that because I don't like to. I'm personally, when I write lyrics, I don't want to be too obvious. Like I'm talking about this government sucks, blah blah blah.
Right.
You know, obviously bands do that, and I think it's great. But for myself, I don't like to do that. I don't want to do that because
Right.
bands do that already. I mean, bands do what we do as well lyrically, but
Right.
I think it's different the way we're doing it with guitars. We try to. I try to stand out as much as I can. And I try to, and of course by being myself. So yeah, I don't like to be too obvious with inspirations or comparisons or whatever to reality. So yeah, I believe I want to write music as an escape. I'm all about escapism for the arts. So when I do that, I don't want to remind people directly what they're going through. I just want to remind them that
Right.
these topics are timeless. They transcend time, and it'll be applicable no matter what.
Right.
So yeah.
Now, obviously, you being a considerably younger guy than me, I remember, different eras of music, I mean, like, but being a teenager in the 80s when, being almost 50 years old myself, I remember when you didn't have a lot of exposure to find out shit about the bands that you liked, a la the internet or whatever. You just had magazines, and sometimes you'd see pictures, and the death metal bands and the thrash bands would sometimes come off as really scary because you didn't know a lot about them. And I remember telling people I liked it more when my death metal fucking scared the shit out of me. You know what I mean? That scary element is gone. But when you were coming up and you were a kid and you're discovering and you're pushing the envelope and you're finding harder and harder and heavier shit, do you remember any bands along the way, man, like where you thought, holy shit, I have found the heaviest? And how heavy did you go? Did you trope all the way into death metal and stuff?
Yeah, I think for me, like the ones that stuck out at first were death metal wise would be Behemoth, black metal would be Immortal, and they were easier for me to get into.
But did they scare you?
Not really. I don't think they were scared. I mean, I wasn't scared, but I did. I think because what helped is I saw my uncle's death metal band. They were called Specimen 32. And they opened up for Deicide, and I went there at the whiskey. I think I was a kid. I was like 5 years old. So yeah, so I was scared then. Of course, I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" The mosh pit's going on. I see my dad in there, so I'm like, "Holy shit, you're crazy!" but because of that, I was sorry.
He was moshing, huh? Your dad?
He was slam dancing that shit. He was
yeah, no pops.
So I was like, holy shit. So I was just blown away. And because of that, I was like, oh, this is cool. I was like eased into that atmosphere and everything.
Right.
So yeah, I wasn't exactly scared after that. So getting into like these bands, I just thought it was really cool. And I was impressed how like say Immortals and even say like Dissections riffs were very, not similar, but it seems that they were inspired with the same rock and roll bands I liked at the time that my dad got me into. So that was an easy way for me to get into said bands.
Right.
So yeah, that was my introduction to the heavier stuff, to appreciate it
more. Well, I'm talking about, and I guess I should rephrase because maybe I'm using the term too loosely, but scared meaning like when you're 12 or 13 and you only see, and I don't know, they don't even really have good metal magazines anymore, but all the metal guys would always be like doing their photo shoots, like posed somewhere in a forest, and their hair would always be in their face, and they'd just be standing there brooding, and you could never get a real clear look at anybody, and everybody seemed a little sketchy, and they were always big burly dudes, and as a kid, it scared you.
Right, and that was the magic about it, right?
Right. Yes.
You didn't really see much of the bands like that. The mystery sold it, I think, and nowadays, that's lost now. With you can still try to do that, but
I remember my first band that scared the shit. My first band that scared the shit out of me, and you mentioned them a minute ago, was actually Deicide, and this was when they still had the Hoffman brothers were in the band. And, they were just a couple of burly, scary dudes that just, like, flanked Glenn Benton. And, of course, he's got the upside-down cross burned into his forehead. And they're just scowling, and they look so pissed. And, hair is kind of, like, shrouded over their face. And you're just like, and then you put the record in, and you're just hearing those Cookie Monster just, everything's outstation.
It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrifying. And then the first time that I saw, like, Corpse Grinder with that neck, and he's windmilling his hair, and he's up on stage threatening to kill people if they throw stuff at him. I mean, that's I liked when the metal was scary. I mean, it had an element of like mysticism. Like you mentioned earlier. There was that. There's still enough of the unknown. Everything wasn't like, oh, you can go on and Google your band and find every image of them and every article about them, and find out what they like to eat for dinner and how old their kids are, and like.
Yeah, I know, it's so different now. I mean, it's I would say, it's unfortunate for, I mean, I guess legacy bands that started off that way. With a little with a lot of mystery and little knowing about a lot of their personal lives, but it seems a lot of them are adapting, of course, and it's just totally different. It's just changed, totally changed.
What's the best way, if you're a young band now, like, what's the best way to try to attempt, I don't know if I asked you this earlier, but to make any money? Like, do you guys like see anything? Is anybody buying CDs anymore? Is everything just bought off of streaming platforms? Like, how do you forge ahead?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's CD sales obviously are low. I mean, they've been low for a long time, and I think it's only going to get worse. But see, the thing is, there's some, like, some niche things like vinyl, cassettes. We do limited runs, and we'll sell out sometimes. But because there's a vibe with that, especially in the metal community. Right. But for new bands, I would say you got to try the new thing. It seems like that's the way to go. Like, you don't really need a record label. It helps a lot. It helps a lot. So, but if you're a new band, I would say just if you want to be in a band, just put yourself on there on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever the fuck is, the thing. Right. Get out there and join an established band. That's the easiest way to make it, I guess. But if you really want to start your own band with your own vision, because you don't want to join another band that's established, because you don't want that particular music, or you don't want to perform that way. You want to perform your own music. If you're really that adamant about it, and you feel like you have something different, and your vision is your passion and unique, then you just got to have good social media presence. That's the way to go. Try to you got to be savvy about that. And try releasing singles every month to stay relevant. That's the way to go. It seems.
It's sad. What the hell happened to people's attention span? You can't get a movie over an hour and 20 minutes anymore. No one can listen to a full fucking album anymore. I mean.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of things. I think. I don't know. I mean, like, especially the new crowd. It seems that they just swipe. Anyways, swipe up. But it's even hard to get all metalheads that already like this stuff. Obviously a lot of us we delve deep into like bands we want to check out, but even then we don't have the time or the the knowledge of who to search for. Because there's a lot of great bands that we'll never get to hear about.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, and the sad part is like I go into my record store, and of course in my mall it's one of those chain FYE places, and it's more toy store, novelty store than it is even albums in there. And I've said this before on other episodes. I've watched the music section, especially the heavy metal section, just be condensed down to just this one little shelf, and it's like, and if you want to find anybody's back catalog, forget it. You might be lucky enough to find the most current thing that they've done, but other than that, if you want to try to find something that, Overkill put out 4 or 5 albums ago, forget it. Maybe they can order it for you, but you're not going to find it on the shelf anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's a thing. I mean, now I don't know. There's probably way more metal bands now than before, even though, like you said, the metal is diminished greatly.
Yeah. yeah, it has diminished greatly, and it's kind of sad to see. And I brought this up on other shows that, like, there is a spike in vinyl right now, and it is kind of a fad right now. But if that ever gets snuffed out, I mean, we might see the death of an actual physical product. I mean, I don't think people are going to go back to CDs or back to cassette tapes. You know what I mean? Oh, let's go in. We lost him again.
So sorry.
Oh, sorry about that, man. What happened? Did I lose you? Where are you, buddy?
Out of the. Sorry
There
about
you
that.
are. That's all right. That's all right. I like when spontaneous shit like that happens. It's all right. It makes, it plays out well on here, because I like to tell my audience that I'm 49 years old. So, I'm not a computer expert. I don't give them no cute little intro song. There's no animation jumping across my fucking screen. I don't have some big to do. I come on here and I just, I rant and rave a little bit at the beginning while I'm inviting the guest in, and then you come in and then I record and I get going. You know what I mean? Like, and when shit like this happens, you fucking roll with it.
Yeah.
You don't panic. I mean, you roll with the punches or whatever. So what's next for you guys, though? So it sounds like you're leaning towards possibly doing like the singles thing, like we talked about earlier. Some people are going the singles, some people are going the EP route, full length album route. So it sounds like you like just keep hammering us with these face melting singles.
Just a moment. I need to text my wife.
I'd love that. If you're gonna just keep hammering us with fucking singles, I'm down for it, man.
No, well, I mean, yeah, we're gonna release singles, of course. We have planned for like at least 2 more music videos, actual music videos, because this last one was just a lyric video. But we're gonna have 2 actual, live performance music videos, at least that many more, and of course with the album release. So yeah, that's pretty much what we have in store right now, and of course we'll think of other stuff to stay relevant.
We got to get you, and of course we got to get you on that Metallica tour, buddy. We got to get you out there. Yeah. I got to drop a call. I got to drop a call to Lars and the boys and make that happen, man. You know what? I look at it like this. Why not you guys, man? I mean, no offense or discredit to any of those other bands, man, but I feel like a band like Metallica has gotten to such a status, man, that they could literally say, I'm digging this band. I know for a fact, man, that the Sword got on there because Hetfield was really digging the Sword and he liked them.
Right.
I think they have leverage. I don't think that's all just in the hands of their management. I think if Hetfield or Lars or somebody goes to management and says, hey, we really want to bring these guys out and kind of fly the flag for them, and get them on the radar.
That happened with us with Amon Amarth. We were on Liquid Metal, Sirius XM Liquid Metal with Jose Mangan, and we were talking about bands that we thought we could fit with and tour with, and one of us mentioned Amon Amarth, and they were listening. One of them was actually listening to that, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool," and they checked us out.
Yeah, that is cool.
They liked what we were doing, and that they actually asked us to do that tour. So that, that happens. That does happen.
Yeah.
So the only way to make things happen is just keep going on. You just gotta be consistent, persistent, and persevere.
I'm gonna go order about 500 of your CDs, and I'm just gonna find James Hetfield and Lars's address and just keep mailing them to them every single day. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's, I'm saying that might be one that might be one tactic, Jadran, or we can try or maybe we can try to start, and this will probably come off as very pretentious and stupid, but maybe we start a GoFundMe and you guys pay to get on the bill. Pay to play.
If everyone's down for that and there's no other way, okay. And then we bribe I feel pretty damn bad about that.
We're gonna pay to get on a Metallica tour.
That'd be crazy. Oh no, I don't know. I don't even know.
Okay, so I gotta ask you this. I gotta ask you this, and I don't know. You sound like you've been on some big bills or whatever, man. And I don't want to put this guy out there right now as far as his name, but a guy that I interviewed on here is going to be going out on a tour, And obviously, concert tickets are expensive these days. You know, it's not easy to always get to every concert that you want to get to. But he finished the interview with, and so you tell me what this means to me as a spectator to the concert. If he tells me before the interview is over here on the show, let me keep in touch with me, and as it gets closer to when we get into town, I'll put you on the list. Now, what does that mean? Like, what do you get with the experience of getting put on the list?
What do you mean? Like you said, like when the date comes closer, I guess because it's just easier to be reminded closer to the date because you usually submit all that stuff.
Right, but what am I going to get if he puts me on the list, though, man? If I'm not paying for a ticket and I'm not paying for a seat, like where do I go? Do I hang up his ass all night? What do I do?
It depends. Usually the guest list is just the basic. I guess you just get in without a ticket. It pretty much gives you a ticket.
Right.
But sometimes it depends. Maybe they're not specific. Sometimes I got a VIP pass to go backstage and stuff and meet up with them. But I mean, I don't know if that's always the case. But generally speaking,
no, that's what he was telling me. No. He specifically said, "I'll put you on the list and we can get we can get together and hang out."
Yeah. I'm not sure. It depends what you get at the door. If they give you an extra, like a sticker or a wristband. That might be the VIP, but yeah, generally speaking, it just means you get in for
right. But so if he's talking about hanging out and I don't actually have a specific seat, like where do I watch them from? Am I watching like side stage? Like what am I doing?
It most likely just be like a general spectator, unless he specifies. Okay.
See, I don't know that. I don't have that kind of protocol. I've never had anybody be cool enough to actually say, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'll put you on the list. I all of a sudden felt really important. You know what I mean? Like that's like a big deal to me. You know what I mean? Like,
but again, it might be what might be the special treatment. So
right, that's what right. Especially like when he added on there. You know what I mean? Like I'll put you on the list and we can meet and hang out. You know, that was kind of meet in person and hang out kind of deal.
Hang out with them. He might even take you back there. I mean,
I get a look behind the curtain, behind the smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. So okay, just tell me I'm here. I'm here, but take me to the back and let's hang out.
Let's talk about my official offer for you to, as a side project, to join my glam/sleaze band, Love Sword. What's it going to take to get Jadran Gonzalez into my band as a guitar player? You don't have to front it because look at me. I'm obviously the epitome of a front man.
That's fine. That's great. That's awesome. That's perfect.
Are you giving me your services pro bono, man, or do I got to give you some kind of musician? Is there some kind of a scale that I pay you on? Like, how do I get you in my band?
We'll see. Let's see. Just gotta share me your ideas. And let's see where we can go with that.
I've got a couple ideas, man. I'll stay in touch. Listen. I write the sleaziest stuff there is. I don't know.
There you go. We'll figure it out. I'll see what I can come up with to complement those sleazy ass lyrics.
That sounds good. Now you're talking my language, buddy. I knew you'd be a good sport. I knew you'd be a fun interview too, man. I could see you on your Facebook in them wacky costumes, and I said, man, this guy's a fun guy. I can tell.
Oh yeah.
He's playing all that. He's playing all that scary metal music and talking about battles and wars, but he's a big teddy bear. I can tell.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just a guy having fun.
All right, man. So where do we find you guys, man? You guys are obviously on Facebook. You're on all the music platforms.
The most easiest way is just go to exmortusmusic.com. A lot of our links are there. I think almost every link is on that website.
Follow the boys. Yeah, follow the boys wherever they are. Follow the boys wherever they are. And if you get an invite to join the band, just be careful because there's been 13 ex guys, so Jadran might throw you out.
Yeah. I'm the problem. That's just all. It's all me.
Well, at least you're big enough to admit it. But you take that shit to Dr. Phil, man. I don't want to hear all that. Yeah. Come on, Jadran. I want to end this on a good note. I want to end it with us smiling and laughing.
Right.
How about if I end it? Hey, how about this? How about if I end it with I'll tell you a joke? Would that make you feel better?
That's fine. Yeah, love jokes.
A nice short one. How about this? Have you ever had sex while camping?
No.
It's fucking intense. Huh? I'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be here all week. Thank you.
I love it.
It's fucking intense. Yeah. Well, it is. Essentially, it is, right? I mean,
how did I not see that coming?
Hey, I really appreciate you being so generous with your time, man. Everybody needs to go check out. Everybody go check out Exmortus, man, or you will be fucking, I don't know, give me something horrible that can happen. Huh?
Or you will be slain.
Slain. I like that. I like that. Yeah. Jadran Gonzalez, you've been a great sport, man. And it's been a blast talking to you, man. It really has, man.
Likewise, my pleasure.
I appreciate the time, buddy. I appreciate you being so generous with, giving so much of your time. And hopefully you'll go tell all your kids and grandkids and future generations of Gonzalez's. I met David Lee Roth's son once.
Yeah, I'll tell them all. I will tell the legacy. I'll tell the legend.
Yeah, the great Rex Ruger. You met him with 3 X's. Hey, count them, 3.
That's right.
That's the sleaziest right there. It was good talking to you, buddy. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Man.
I love your band. Love you guys, man. And I'm going to fly the flag and support you guys always, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Likewise. Have a good one.
We'll do it again. Bye-bye.
See ya.
See ya. Jadran Gonzalez. I knew he'd be a great guest. And you know what? He was the first one to hop into the furnace with my rapid fire questions. And he did very good. That was a great suggestion by somebody that emailed that in to me. Why don't you put these people on the hot seat and give them a little speed round? Well, that worked out pretty good. That's Jadran Gonzalez from the band Exmortus. Exmortus. Go check them out everywhere because they are fucking heavy and they're young guys that are flying the torch for thrash metal, and they will make sure that it lives and breathes forever. A lot of great young bands out there that are doing that right now for the genre. And we salute all of them. We will have them on here, man. We will do everything we can to make sure that they keep on forging ahead. So hope you guys enjoyed that. And till I see you guys again, remember to take it easy and keep it sleazy.